November 29th, 1970. Bergen, Norway. A father and his two young daughters are hiking in Isdalen Valley, a remote area surrounded by mountains, dense forest, and rocky terrain. The valley is known for its isolation, its beauty, its silence. The family walks along a trail, enjoying the crisp air, the views. Then one of the daughters sees something. Smoke rising from behind some rocks. They move closer. They find a body, a woman, partially burned, lying on a rocky slope. She is dead, and her identity, to this day, remains unknown. This is the story of the Isdal Woman, an unidentified woman found in the mountains near Bergen, Norway, more than 50 years ago. She carried no identification. Her fingerprints had been burned off. The labels on her clothing had been removed. Her face was damaged. She left behind a trail of false names, fake passports, coded notes. Investigators have spent decades trying to identify her, to understand who she was, why she was in Norway, how she died, and still, the answers remain elusive. She is one of Europe's most enduring mysteries. The woman was found lying on her back, partially covered by rocks. Her body had been burned, but not completely. The fire appeared to have gone out on its own. She was wearing a long dress, a nylon slip, jewelry. Near her body, police found melted plastic bottles, the remnants of what appeared to be accelerants, gasoline, or lighter fluid. There were also sleeping pills scattered nearby, a large number, suggesting an overdose. An autopsy was performed. The cause of death was determined to be carbon monoxide poisoning and burns, but the manner of death was unclear. Was it suicide, or murder made to look like suicide? The woman had taken sleeping pills, but not enough to be fatal on their own. She had burns on her body, but they were not the cause of death. She had inhaled smoke, carbon monoxide, which killed her, but the scene was staged unusual. Nothing was straightforward. The woman's belongings were examined. She had 2 suitcases, found in a locker at the Bergen train station. Inside, investigators found clothing, wigs, makeup, shoes. All of the labels had been carefully removed, cut out, torn off. Every item of clothing, every pair of shoes, stripped of identifying marks. The suitcases themselves had no tags, no stickers, no indication of where they had come from. Police also found coded notes, handwritten, in what appeared to be a simple substitution cipher. The notes listed dates and locations, cities across Europe. Investigators decoded them. The dates corresponded to hotel stays. The woman had traveled extensively. Oslo, Bergen, Stavanger, Trondheim. She had stayed in multiple hotels, often checking in and out on the same day. She used different names, different identities. She carried fake passports, false identification. The woman was estimated to be between 25 and 40 years old. She had dark brown hair. The wigs were found in her luggage. She was approximately 5'4", slender build. She had well-maintained teeth, manicured nails, expensive clothing. She appeared educated, cultured, careful. Someone who knew how to move undetected, how to cover her tracks. Investigators traced her movements. She had arrived in Norway in November 1970. She checked into a hotel in Bergen under the name Vanilla Lorch from Belgium. The passport was fake. She stayed one night, then checked into another hotel under a different name. Alexia Zarnamerches from Vienna, also fake. She moved between hotels, never staying long, always using cash, always leaving before questions could be asked. On November 23rd, she checked into the Hotel Horteheimen in Bergen, again using a false name. She requested a room with a view, but no balcony. She stayed for several days. Staff noticed she was polite, quiet, kept to herself. She left her room only at odd hours, early morning or late evening. She avoided being seen. On November 28th, she did not return to the hotel. The next day, her body was found in Isdalen Valley. The investigation began immediately. Police searched for anyone who might recognize her. They released sketches, descriptions, photographs, but her face had been damaged by fire, making identification difficult. Composite images were created based on the autopsy, on witness descriptions. The images were distributed across Norway, across Europe. No one came forward. No one recognized her. No missing persons report matched her description. She was a ghost. Investigators traced the hotel she had stayed in, the routes she had taken. They interviewed staff, guests, anyone who might have seen her. Some remembered her. A woman, always alone, always polite, always paying in cash. She spoke multiple languages: German, French, English, Flemish. She had no accent, or several, depending on who was asked. She changed her appearance frequently. Different wigs, different clothing. She was careful, deliberate, evasive. The coded notes were analyzed further. They listed not just hotels, but times, routes, connections. It appeared she was following a schedule, a plan. She was not a tourist. She was not traveling for leisure. She was traveling with purpose. But what purpose? Police theorized. Was she a spy? The Cold War was ongoing in 1970. Norway bordered the Soviet Union. Bergen was a port city. Strategic, important. Could she have been involved in espionage? The theory gained traction. Her behavior, the fake passports, the coded notes, the constant movement, all suggested someone trained, someone operating covertly. But if she was a spy, for whom? And why was she dead? Had she been compromised? Had she been killed? Or had she taken her own life? Knowing she was in danger, other theories emerged. Perhaps she was fleeing something, or someone. Perhaps she was in witness protection, hiding. Perhaps she was involved in smuggling and crime. Perhaps her death was unrelated to her secrecy. Just a tragic coincidence. But none of the theories could be proven. The evidence was circumstantial, incomplete. In the years following her death, the case went cold. Files were stored. Evidence was cataloged. The woman was buried in Bergen, in Melindal Church Cemetery, under a headstone that read Identified Female. Later, it was changed to Isdal Woman, after the valley where she was found. People visited her grave, left flowers, wondered who she was. Decades passed. In 2016, Norwegian journalist Marit Hygraf began investigating the case. She produced a podcast, Death in Isdal Valley, bringing renewed attention. The case was reopened. New technology was applied. Isotope analysis was conducted on the woman's teeth to determine where she had lived as a child. The results suggested Central Europe, possibly Germany or France. DNA testing was performed. A profile was created, but there was no match in any database. In 2017, police released new facial reconstructions, created using advanced techniques. The images showed a woman with dark hair, high cheekbones, a serious expression. The images were shared widely. Tips came in, but none were credible. No definitive identification was made. In 2018, investigators announced they had narrowed the search. They believed the woman was likely from the Nuremberg area of Germany, based on isotope analysis. They appealed to German authorities, to the public. Genealogy databases were searched. Family trees were built, but still no match. The woman remained unidentified. The case has become one of the most famous unsolved mysteries in Europe. It has been featured in documentaries, podcasts, books. Amateur sleuths have analyzed every detail, every clue. Theories abound, but facts remain scarce. The question remains, who was the Isdal Woman? Was she a spy, caught in a Cold War operation gone wrong? Was she fleeing abuse, danger, a violent partner? Was she mentally ill, paranoid, creating false identities to feel safe? Was her death suicide, an escape from a life too complicated, too dangerous? Or was she murdered? Her death staged to look self-inflicted? The evidence supports multiple interpretations. The sleeping pills suggest suicide, but the amount was not lethal. The fire suggests someone tried to destroy evidence, to obscure identity, but it burned out too quickly, leaving the body recognizable. The location, Isdalen Valley, is remote, isolated. Someone traveling there would need knowledge of the area. Reason to go. Was she meeting someone? Hiding? Preparing to disappear? Witness accounts are conflicting. Some hotel staff remembered her as nervous, anxious. Others remembered her as calm, confident. Some said she seemed afraid, looking over her shoulder. Others said she seemed in control, deliberate. Memories, after decades, are unreliable. Details fade. Imagination fills gaps. The coded notes remain a puzzle. They list cities, dates, times. but no names, no contacts, no clear purpose. Were they a travel itinerary, a record of meetings, a way to remember where she had been? Or were they something else, a cipher within a cipher? Layers of meaning only she understood? The fake passports raised questions. In 1970, creating false documents was difficult, but not impossible. It required resources, connections, skill. Was she working alone? Or was she part of something larger? An organization, a network? If she was part of a network, why did no one claim her body? Why did no one come forward? Was she abandoned? Betrayed? Or was her anonymity the point? The final instruction? The Isdal Woman has become a symbol of the unknowable, of lives lived in shadow, of people who disappear, who erase themselves, who leave no trace. She is a reminder that in the modern world, even in 1970, it was possible to be no one, to have no name, no past, no future. Her grave is visited regularly. Strangers leave flowers, notes, tokens. People who never knew her, but who feel connected to her mystery, who want her to be remembered, who hope, even now, that she will be identified. Investigators have not given up. DNA samples are stored. Genealogy searches continue. Isotope analysis is refined. Facial reconstructions are updated. Technology improves. Databases grow. There's hope, always hope, that someday a match will be found. A name will be discovered. A family will come forward. But hope is not certainty, and time erodes evidence. Witnesses die. Memories fade. Records are lost. The people who might have known her, who might have answers, are gone. The trail is cold. The case is open, but it is quiet. The story of the Isdal Woman does not end here, because it has not ended. She is still unidentified, still unnamed, still a mystery. Investigators still work. Journalists still investigate. Podcasts still discuss. Theories still circulate. And somewhere, perhaps, someone knows. Someone remembers. A family wonders. A name waits. But for now, she remains the Isdal Woman, found in a valley, burned, coded, erased. A woman who traveled under false names, who covered her tracks, who left no trace of who she was. A woman who died alone on a rocky slope in the mountains of Norway. And her identity, her story, her truth remains hidden, lost in the smoke, lost in the silence, lost in time. The valley is still there. Isdalen, beautiful, remote, quiet. Hikers still walk the trails. The rocks where she was found are unmarked, but the memory remains of a woman unknown, of a mystery unsolved, of a life erased. And the questions, after more than 50 years, remain. Who was she? Why was she there? How did she die? And will we ever know? The answers are buried in archives, in memories, in the earth. The Isdal Woman is gone, but the mystery endures, and the search, slow, patient, continues for a name, for story, for the truth.